Hi everyone, welcome back. I know today it's a little different setup, but I feel this one is a bit cozier because today I'll be sharing all the books I read in the previous month. There were so many exciting ones. I can't wait to share them. The first one, suspense thriller, it was a good start. This one was a quick read, but I literally didn't realize when the time went by. So this one was a quick read, but it was so freaking good, I kid you not. The wife, she thinks her husband has been ignoring her for so many days, and she's like, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes, even if it's a big thing, to get my husband's attention. So she does this all camera setup, and she, to make it more dramatic, she goes and hides herself, and there's this all mess in her room, and she thinks that her husband will react and do something. She has left clues, so she's like, her husband, follow these clues and come and get her. She quietly goes in a silent place and sits and watches through the camera what her husband will do, and what she finds absolutely leaves her shocking. And then it is a fight for survival and how to get the truth out. This one was so good. I breezed through it. I didn't even realize it. Thrillers are like this are perfect because sometimes you just need a quick gripping read, and this one, so good. On audiobook, I found a new series. I fell instantly in love. I read the first book. It follows the Whiskey brothers in this small town, and each book follows a different brother, and this guys hooked me so good. Each of the stories had this emotional bond, this family togetherness, and also the scars and the past, things that haunt our heroes. So I think I started with the second book in the previous month. The first book I found it before that in around March, and April was completely dedicated partly to this series. It's a 9-book series, and it is on I heard it on Audible, and it was so freaking good. The Whiskey brothers, they are so freaking good. You have to listen to them. They are a freaking must. They will pull you in and you will become a part of the Whiskey brotherhood. They are together 3 brothers, but then we also have friends that they find along the way, and we get to know their stories also. Trust me, each of this book is so good, so good. This one was partly like a thriller month. This another book, Cry of the Banshee. I was taken into the amazing land of Scotland, castles and all of that, but this one was a mystery because our main heroine, she inherits this castle, and they have this tourist activity going on, and she's taking a handle of how things move, how things work, how to take care of after her granny, from whom she inherited this castle. So she's like, I'm just learning how to take care of all the things, how to run things and all of that. And in the midst of that, suddenly one fine day when they have this tourist group visiting, she starts hearing the cry of someone, like a banshee wailing. She comes running, she investigates and sees what's wrong. The tourist people are still there, the guide is there. She goes and asks the guide, is everyone there? And then they realize that one of the women is not there. She's just gone for a washroom break. And then they find that this woman has been unalived. And till then the banshee was crying, and before that also certain incidents had happened when the banshee was wailing. Of course nobody would pay heed to that because they will be like, am I going crazy or am I just listening to sounds? And so previous 2 incidents had happened that a heroine ignores, but now she goes on red alert. So she goes and calls her cousin and her husband, who work in an FBI paranormal department, and they come to investigate. And it is so complicated because each one who help a heroine take care of the castle, all of them are good people. So who are you going to suspect? I feel this one was another really good thriller. We have a certain paranormal angle to it, and it was really good. I also had a foray in Romantasy this month. Isle of Wrath was so good. It is a very different world development. I'm more of a dark romance girly, mafia girly, small town girly, and of course whatever Audible hooks me up with. But this Romantasy book, so good world building, and it takes a bit of time, not too much, a bit of time to understand the concept. But once you do, you are pulled into this world completely. Our heroine lives in Lunaris, the Isle of Lunaris, and they have this shroud covering their island, which is supposed to be due to a curse. Nobody knows how to get rid of this curse because it has been there for 300 years. Now an incident happens, and she's a professor. Her heroine is a professor, She has her gifts and all of that. So now an incident happens and her brother gets injured. Goes and does this bargain with the goddess of death, and the goddess says to her that in return you would have to help me with a deal. She's like, okay, do anything, save my brother. She says yes, her brother is saved, but now what she doesn't know is the goddess has bound her to a warrior, and the same warrior, our heroine, has to help him. She has to help him undo a curse which has been there for 300 years. Can you imagine? Nobody knows the what, if, what, how, and all of that about it. Oh my god, this book was action, it had secrets, it was thrilling, and I was like, oh my god, what is going to happen? Yes, it ends on a cliffy, but the cliffy is so good. And sometimes, you know what, I feel the anticipation of a good book, waiting for a book, you love the first book, and then that anticipation is also sometimes good, and I'm so eagerly going to be waiting for the next book in this series. How Not to Fall in Love. I think this book, the starting pulled me a bit, and the second half was like fine, but the starting pulled me so good, because we have this stranger and a single mother. She goes on in a bar, she rarely goes out, so her friend is like, come on, you have to get out. Okay, this is not going to work. You're always working in the shelter, you take care of your grandpa, you take care of the son, that's so great, but please, you have to also give yourself some time. So she's like, okay, fine, let's go out today. I don't know about other times. So she goes out and she's like, she finds a corner. She's like, I'll just stick in a corner, let my friend have her fun. And she goes in a corner, but she finds there a stranger, a grumpy stranger. He's huge and he is good looking, of course. But he is like, why are you coming and sitting in and all of that? But in a minute, it's like he is instantly giving her complete attention. And she sasses him and she's like, what, don't be this and that. I just came here, I don't get out usually and all of that. And the stranger man and a heroine have such good banter. They soon start flirting and looking at each other slyly and all of that. And that scene was so good. I was fanning myself. I was like, what is going to happen next? I was so excited. And then out of the blue, she walks off. So I'm like, okay, what is going to happen next? And I was like, okay, fine. And then there's this huge twist in the book, because our stranger, okay, this is not a spoiler, okay, our stranger, he is a very big NFL player whom her son adores him. But there's this huge incident that happens, and now somehow their paths are going to be tangled. And when I realized that how both of them don't know each other, they're like, I don't think we will ever meet in the future and all of that, they don't exchange names and anything, but now their paths are going to cross. And while reading that scene, I was like, they're gonna meet, what is going to happen? Book is good. I just had complaints a certain bit, it was a bit emotional, a bit pulled out a bit. That's my only complaint, but it was still a very, very good book. So there's this series I fell madly in love with last year, the Haunting Daniel series. It's a cozy haunting mystery, but it's not like darkish. It is really, really cozy and all of that. You can listen to this series any freaking time. And I came across the audiobook last year. I went through 11 books back to back, and I've been, after that I have bought the audiobooks, and I've been saving them up for whenever I will be like in a book slump and I'll be like, I don't know anything, then I'm gonna pick them up. So I was not in a book slump now, but I had this strong urge, like I need a Haunting Daniel book. So it's basically Daniel comes to this town and she buys this place, but it is rumored to be a haunted place, and it is not rumors actually. When Daniel realizes it's actually haunted by the owner, Walt Marlowe. And then we have, in each book there's a suspense mystery thing that happens, and Daniel solves it. Of course, our friendly ghost Walt Marlowe is always there to help her. So I am on the 12th book, and I heard the 12th book this month. The name is The Ghost and the Leprechaun, and of course we are going to have something regarding the leprechaun. It was another cozy book. This series is my comfort place and also my addiction, I feel, because I can't stop listening to this. So this one was also good. I can't tell more of the story because it might be spoilers, because I'm on the 12th book. Yeah, so a lot of story carries on a bit. You can read it like a standalone almost, but certain things, characters that you get attached to throughout when you go on reading books, those you might not get it. And I would really suggest pick this one up if you want to just go and try. This one is so good. Okay, another book I came across this month. This was a dark mafia-ish romance. I say not exactly mafia because our hero is not in the mafia but works for the mafia. So this is a completely new to me author that I came across, and I can't tell you, I'm a fan of her writing now. So this book felt like a poetry to me. It just pulled me in differently. Usually when books are not fast paced, mind you, a lot of things are happening in this book, but it was not that fast paced. It is more character driven story, and yet the writing is so good. Yeah, so good, because I was completely rooting for both characters. It's a complicated story, but it makes you feel, makes you feel so much. So he's the mafia, he works for the Bratva, he's the official cleaner. Anything happens, our hero is over there. A girl, she can't see. Yes. And it complicates things a lot. Something happened a couple of years back and she lost everything along with her eyesight. Now her life is just methodical, it's routine, and yet I felt she was so brave, a lone girl, being so fearless. She works in this restaurant and comes to play piano every night. She does her shift, gets out at 11. It's like clockwork every day. And one fine day, she comes across into this alley while our guy is cleaning, our hero is cleaning and doing his work. So she was not supposed to come across it, but she's so smart. What she does is she's quietly, she feels she stepped into something. She doesn't say a word, she doesn't utter a word. She feels, because when I feel like in the story, it is beautifully shown that even though her eyesight is not there, her other senses are so 10 times stronger. And so she realizes that someone is there around. She doesn't utter a word. I find it so irritating and foolish at times. Like, why do heroines or heroes, whoever, in movies or whatever stories, sometimes they're like, hi, anyone's there? Oh God, is he gonna tell you if he's there, if he's come to attack you or whatever? No, right? Why would you ask him? So I was so glad our heroine is not stupid. She's like, what? She doesn't utter a word. She realizes there's some danger around. So she quietly, just goes on her way, the way she usually does. Like, I didn't see anything. I don't know what is going on. Now what happens? Yet she somehow, because in mafia, they don't live eyewitnesses. So they're like, okay, maybe she saw something. We don't know exactly, right? Even if she can't see. So they tell the hero that, okay, hero is like, what? I'm taking this responsibility. Let's not, simply unalive a innocent girl. And so he takes it upon himself. He's like, what, I'm gonna keep an eye on her. So he's like, I'm gonna keep an eye on her, and there's no problem over here. But in this talking, our hero becomes obsessed with our girl slowly. Every day he comes and sees her playing piano, he follows, and all of that happens. And slowly he starts falling for our girl without realizing it. But there's a big danger. There's a twist in this book. And I was so scared, like, what is going to happen? I was rooting for her heroine. I was her girl. I wanted to be her friend because I felt for her. Even after going through so much, that girl was such a warrior, such a freaking warrior. This author has won me over with this book. I am so going to be reading her other books. There are certain authors, it's like love at first sight with their stories, and this one has become one of that author for me for sure. Okay, that's it for today. I had so much fun reading, of course reading, but if you liked any of these books, please do let me know in the comments which one you have read of these books. I'd love to know if you have any more recommendations. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time. Bye.